Hey guys, welcome back to Today in the video. Today, another Marvel Rivals guide. We're looking at Scarlet Witch, Wanda herself, one of the best characters in the closed alpha and one of the most popular characters currently within Marvel altogether. Today we're going to be looking at her synergies, her abilities, and sort of the best way you can play her to the most of her potential. Now things are bound to change before the closed beta and the full release, so anything that has majorly changed is going to be in a pinned comment down there that you can check out. But now on to the main stuff. Let's start with Scarlet's synergies. Currently, Scarlet Witch has one synergy called Metallic Chaos, which is with Magneto. Now, it doesn't really do anything for Scarlet, but there is a passive boost of 15% extra damage, which is of course pretty substantial. But it mainly gives an extra ability to Magneto, and there's going to be a Magneto guide up pretty soon here as well, so you can check that out to see. But it makes him much better. So if you're playing Scarlet Witch, definitely if you have a friend or even just whoever your tank is on your team, recommend them switching to Magneto because he's going to become substantially better with a Scarlet Witch, or vice versa. If someone's playing Magneto and you want to help them out or help the team out, consider switching to Scarlet because you two together make Magneto way better. He does massive damage with the ability that unlocks. Now moving on to Scarlet Witch herself with her abilities. Wanda's primary attack on left click is called Chaos Control, sort of a shadow type moment where she uses chaos magic to attack enemies and restore chaos energy. Now the chaos energy is something you're going to see on screen in your UI, sort of in your reticle. It's like a couple little orbs. Those are basically what power your right click, which we're going to get to in a second, and they regenerate slowly over time naturally, but they're going to go faster when you do damage with your left click. Now her normal attack is a little different than pretty much any other characters. You're actually going to be holding down left click, and it's sort of like a lock-on kind of vacuum that's just going to like attach to an enemy and kind of leech off of them more or less. It's not anything you really have to aim or like worry about in that way. It's not a projectile. She works kind of like Symmetra, for example, from Overwatch, but mainly she has deceptively far range where you can like latch onto someone doing very high damage with your left click from quite a ways away. So it's a very strong attack. And like I said, this is going to charge right into her right click Chthonian Burst. Hopefully that's right. Chthonian Burst, I'm not sure. Where you consume chaos energy to fire explosive magic missiles that damage enemies. So your left click's going to give you these charges back faster, but otherwise they recharge on their own as well. This is your ranged ability that's going to actually allow you to do damage from a decent distance away, because your left click, of course, you have to be pretty close to do that. Now Chthonian Burst is going to shoot like an orb forward that does pretty solid damage, and that's pretty much all there is to it. And yeah, you charge it back fast with your left click. Moving on, she also has a movement ability called Mystic Projection on her left shift, where she enters the projection state for free flight and you can exit early. You can use like spacebar to ascend when you're in that and just sort of fly around like any of the flying characters. It lasts for a few seconds, and on your screen it kind of seems like, oh, I'm invisible, because it does a little transparency thing on you. They can see you still, it's like a little orb in the air basically. The enemy knows exactly where you are. You're not going to like use this to phase behind or through someone or like surprise anyone. Maybe if there's a lot going on, they'll miss it, or you do fly like up high or something, but in general they're going to see you when you're doing this. But it's good for getting out of trouble, getting high ground, or starting a flank route, and especially good to combo into her ultimate, which we'll get into in a second here. It's just a little invulnerability state that you can go into. You can't take any damage, and you can sort of fly towards a health pack, fly back towards a healer, fly out of danger, because you're going to always be kind of in the front lines with Wanda, since you need that close proximity to do damage. So when things get hairy, you can at least get away, because you do also get 2 of these on cooldown. Pretty solid ability there, Mystic Projection. And moving on to her E, she has Dark Seal, where you land a hit on a target or anywhere in the environment, and then press E again to generate a force field that stuns periodically enemies that are in that bubble. This stun is probably the most obnoxious one in the game. The strongest stun, I would say, by far, because there's sort of a way, like if you put it behind someone and they're trying to walk backwards, now they're kind of like in it, or like if you hit someone right with the center of it or something, it is so obnoxious because it periodically stuns. So it's going to stun them, and it does this super annoying noise too, where it's like brang, gang, gang, and it stuns you. It's completely solid. And then of course they're still shooting you, and then you try and take a step, you stun again, and they just shoot you more. You take one more step, you like stun again, and they shoot you more. So it's a very strong stun, and you can kind of use it like a trap as well, because like I said, you can throw it with E, and then whenever you hit E again, it's gonna pop. So maybe you miss your first one, it's on the floor, they come back into the doorway, then you pop it. It's a very strong stun in general. It's really just obnoxious more than anything. Even if it's not getting you kills, it's definitely like disrupting the enemies, which is what you want. So that's Dark Seal. Now lastly, she has a passive called Telekinesis, just like Rocket and I think a few other characters as well, Hella, where you can hold space to fall slowly. So this is kind of cool to combo with Mystic Projection. You can fly up with that, and then if you're holding space when you come out of it, you'll sort of hover and like slowly descend. And of course you can be holding left click and still be damaging people sort of from the air or like from behind and surprise people that way. So it's a pretty solid little fall slowly type mechanic. And all of this comes together with her ultimate ability, Reality Erasure, where you engage in free flight and you charge energy to deal massive damage. Now, this is the most telegraphed ultimate in the entire game. She screams so loud that like people in the next match can still hear you. And everyone's going to turn and look and see where you are. They're going to all try and kill you, etc. You probably, honestly, in like higher level play, want to have, or even just after the game's been out for long enough, first like week is over, you're going to want people healing you while you're trying to do this. Or what is extremely strong, speaking of Magneto synergy, you know, you want to have both on your team, is Magneto to throw his shield onto you like halfway through your charge up. And this is going to protect you from all damage and give you insane amounts of kills. Like, people are going to think they're going to finish you before you explode. You get hit by the Magneto shield. Hulk shield also works, but that one breaks. It's not as good. But Magneto can literally throw a shield onto you. You know, father and daughter teaming up, and this is going to make her ultimate way better. But if you have none of that and you're just relying on yourself, you know, one trick damaging or something, trying to carry the team, you can, with more often than not good success, use Mystic Projection to fly sort of invisibly past everybody, which, also strong thing about that ability, takes out her clicking heel sound, because there's one thing that really gives away you trying to sneak up and do an ult, is Wanda's extremely loud heels, where she literally is like click clack walking around the map, and everyone can hear her coming. So you're never gonna really surprise anyone with Wanda, even though her kit sort of is built into wanting to be close and surprise the flanks and stuff. It's hard to do that, but that's where Mystic Projection is helpful. If you fly up and around and then maybe fly again up into the sky, hit your ultimate, or you hit it on like the edge of a corner right by a site, and then right when it's about to explode you come around the corner, stuff like that. It's going to be blockable by any shields, but in general, surprising like other DPS characters, healers, or just in the flank, like even if it's payload behind people or coming into sight, you're at least going to clear sight. But a lot of the time you're going to see an easy triple or a quad with Scarlet's ultimate. It's extremely strong. It is an instant kill from like incredible range. But it has such a large wind up. It's got a UI element that tells them you're doing it. Everyone sees you. It just takes a good team to sort of look at you and burst you down. That's going to end it. So it's sort of a risk reward thing, but the reward is extremely high, where you're getting triples a lot of the time with this ultimate. It is very strong, and like I said, if you combo with some other plays like the Magneto shield and stuff like that, you're going to see a lot more success. That's definitely on the higher end of like the sort of competitive play version of it, instead of just like hit Q, get a triple, hit Q on a bad team, get like a quad. But sometimes against a good team, you're going to have to be more creative. But anyways, that is everything for Scarlet Witch. I kind of went a bit more in depth with this guide. Hopefully it wasn't like too long for you guys. Some of them have been like 7 minutes. This one, I wanted to kind of talk more about like actual strategies and like things you can incorporate into your play to make them better. And of course the character is like, the game's not even out. The character was only around for a week to play. You know, I'm not the best Wanda player in the world. Just helping you guys out by at least showing you the abilities, getting you excited for Scarlet. And that's about it. Let me know if this guide was helpful. Hopefully, if you're watching this later on, before the game comes out, etc., you get an idea for the character. And that's about it, guys. Thank you so much. Check out the channel if you want to see more from me. New videos every other day, at the very least, as well as a full set of guides for all the characters in Marvel Rivals. Slowly coming together here. I think we're at like 6 or 7 guides now. So check those out if you're interested in other characters and the game in general. I'm going to be making lots of Marvel Rivals content once it comes out. Marvel Rivals. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Marvel Rivals. I'm gonna make lots of Marvel Rivals, I'm gonna make lots of Marvel Rivals on it. Marvel Rivals on it. Can you get a like for the thumbnail, please? She's giving. She's serving. She's serving. I can't say the word on YouTube. She's serving